So let's consider this sentence. Sarah thought that Hoggle had betrayed her. And it has a couple of different pieces in it. So first of all, we have this complementizer word, that. And what that does is allow an entire sentence, Hoggle had betrayed her, to be the object of the verb think, right? This is the thing that Sarah thought, that Hoggle had betrayed her, right? So we have this entire sentence that is the complement, as introduced by this complementizer, of thought, right? And so we call this thing a sentential complement. That is, it is a sentence that is the complement, right, of, in this case, a verb think. And in English, in this case, for example, we don't actually have to have complementizer that. We can just say Sarah thought Hoggle had betrayed her, and that's okay too, right? This is still a sentential complement. Now, the thing about sentential complement, the embedded sentence, if you will, encodes the contents of Sarah's mind, right? It's like what Sarah is thinking. And so when we think about sort of the truth of this, we don't actually know for sure in the real world if Hoggle had in fact betrayed her. We only know that she thought that, right? It may be the case that he didn't. It may be the case that he did. We don't know. So the truth value of this embedded sentence, of this sentential complement, can't be evaluated with respect to our world. It has to be evaluated with respect to Sarah's mental world. That is what Sarah thought, right? So that's why these things are kind of tricky. And, what if a child didn't know this is the question, right? Here's what you need to know to evaluate sort of the truth value of statements like these, right? You need to know that some verbs like think or believe or say can take these things called sentential complements. So Sarah thought, this is one of these mental state verbs, for example, our complementizer, and the sentential complement, Hoggle had betrayed her, right? You know that some verbs like this can take sentential complements. And then you have this social cognitive knowledge, right? You know that other people can have a false belief, right? Maybe Hoggle actually didn't betray her, so this is a false belief, a false thing that Sarah thinks, right? And the bridge between these things is that there's a connection between the syntactic form of the sentential complement and the expression of potentially false beliefs. And so the question then is, which comes first, the sort of the social cognitive knowledge that other people can have a false belief, or the syntactic knowledge of sentential complements? And the usual pattern when we think about sort of the acquisition of meaning is that you sort of have the social knowledge, of the conceptual knowledge, and then you learn the appropriate linguistic form, right, to express that knowledge. And a Whorfian approach, this should actually be colored green here, is that what's going on is the language is what keys you in to the social conceptual knowledge. So having a way to express this sentence, Sarah thought that Hoggle had betrayed her, is what clues you in to the social conceptual knowledge that there's a potentially false belief here, right? That's a Whorfian kind of pattern.